Hey folks, and welcome to the latest video in the Rhapsody Power Pack series. I'm Andy Lapping, and in this video I'll show you how to generate an n-squared view from your Rhapsody model. N-squared views are a classic systems engineering analysis tool that represents the interfaces or interactions between elements of a system. The n-squared name refers to the fact that it's typically a square matrix with n rows and n columns for n elements. In that matrix, the system elements are along the diagonal, and the off-diagonal cells represent the interactions or relationships between them. So rows representing the sending of data or signals, and the columns representing the consumers of that data or signals. In this Rhapsody model, we have blocks that have connections to other blocks via proxy ports or via flow ports. The n-squared view generator in the Rhapsody Power Pack generates views based on connectors between ports. When we invoke that helper, we can do it from a single diagram or from a package. For example, if I ran it from this diagram, then all of these connectors would be considered. But if I ran it from this diagram, then the generated view would only consider these two connectors. Of course, if I run it from a package, I'll get everything, whether it's on a diagram or not, so it's very flexible. Let's run it first on this flow port diagram, so only these two connectors are considered. Now, block B is sending two flow properties to block A, which both sends and receives data from block C. I'll right-click the diagram background and select Power Pack, Architecture Tools, Generate n-squared view. Now, the view is generated as a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and there are a raft of properties that allow you to customize that generation. We'll look at some of them in a moment, but let's first see the defaults. Sending and receiving blocks are arranged on the diagonal in alphabetical order, and the elements inside the interfaces are added to the off-diagonal cells. For example, this element X is being sent from A to C. Elements M and P are being sent from B to A, and the diagonal cells are merged appropriately. Summing rows and columns are automatically generated, making it easy to identify critical elements which have a lot of interaction. Every model element in the sheet is clickable, so we can navigate to it back in the Rhapsody model. If I click X, then there it is, it's a flow property in this flow specification. Okay, let's close that spreadsheet. And now let's generate a new n-squared view from the All Connections diagram, which has a few more connections on it, both between flow ports and proxy ports. Now those cells have a mix of flow properties and event receptions. Next, let's customize that generation by changing some properties, which we can do at either package or project level. I'll use the project. You can customize the look and feel for the rows, for the columns, for the diagonals, and if you don't want that summing data, you can switch that off here. This property is a little more interesting, as it changes the generation scheme completely. The default setting processes the interfaces and populates the matrix with the event receptions and the flow properties found within them. Let's change that scheme to cells as interfaces. And now I'll generate another n-squared view from that same diagram. This time we get a more concise view, where the cells reference the interface blocks or flow specifications. And if I click one, then that actually navigates to another sheet in the same spreadsheet. We have a details sheet for each of them. But as before, every model element listed in that sheet is navigable back to Rhapsody. Now, if we are using that style, then we also have the additional option to indicate conjugation in that overview page. If I enable that, and then we'll go and generate that n-squared view again, well, this time I can see, for example, that there's an interface between A and B, but it's the port on the A end that is the conjugated one. Now, there are other customization options, including special ones for profile designers who want to include this functionality in their custom profiles. And all of that is, of course, detailed in the help. But for now, that's it for this video. Over the course of the series, we'll explore the rest of the Rhapsody Power Pack features that will greatly improve your Rhapsody user experience. So please do subscribe if you want to be notified as those videos get published. But for now, thanks for watching.